Okay, I gotta admit, Geoff Wilson is starting to impress me. Let me show you what I mean. You ready? Then let's do it. Hello and welcome, rookie card collecting friends. Victor, the rookie card specialist here, and I want to share with you some things that I've picked up on that lead me to believe that Geoff Wilson is starting to get it. I'm going to show you a couple of clips to kind of paint the narrative and show you what I'm talking about. Here's the first video, and it's dealing with Patrick Mahomes during the Super Bowl time. Listen to this.
Do not buy Patrick Mahomes cards. Perhaps buy Drake May instead. Look, I know it was a picture-perfect ending to the Super Bowl. Mahomes got his third ring. He looked amazing. The entire thing was legendary. But that's the exact reason why you should not buy Patrick Mahomes cards right now. I love Patrick Mahomes as a long-term investment, but buying now, in my opinion, is a massive mistake. There's other places you should be putting your money in the football card market. Do the opposite of what everybody else out there is about to do.
Dare I say, now that is good investment advice. Now, here's the thing. This is the type of thing that I and many other veteran collectors, the old heads in the hobby, have been saying for years now, especially during the COVID seasons, right? Up until now. Here's the thing. When a player pops is not the time to buy their cards. It's too late. If we're talking investment, if we're talking flipping purposes, when a player goes off and they start to get the limelight and they go off and what they pop right in the hobby, it's too late. We have to get these folks prior to, and that's what the old heads have been trying to teach the younger guys, right? That listen, man, that's not the way to do it. To go out and get a hot prospect or a hot player who's playing really, really well and is having a career season, man, you better get those things sooner rather than later. Because if you wait, you're going to pay through the nose. Right now, or at least around Super Bowl weekend and the weeks leading up to it, was not the time to be buying Patrick Mahomes. That is a warped philosophy. That is bad investment advice when it comes to hobby and collectibles. I think he's starting to get it. A second video was released in this, and this one was released in the past week, that kind of indicated to me that maybe Geoff Wilson is starting to get it. Check out this clip.
Panini has done the exact opposite of what you should do in a customer service position, but it's not going to stop because we're not going to stop buying their products. So what incentive do they have to actually improve their processes? I feel like none, and that's the really disappointing part.
Yeah, I think in that case, Panini was responding to a lawsuit. I think somebody sued them maybe, and then their response, they said, we don't have this obligation to do this or whatever that looks like. But man, I am with you, and that's a great example, Doug. So when Topps discovered that the first card wasn't properly printed on those Topps Series 1 cards, they not only posted that to social media and said, hey guys, we made a mistake, and if this happened to one of your cards, if you find a card that's a one of one without that on it, let us know. We're going to swap out the card. We're also going to give you a credit. Not only did they do that, but they actually contacted us here at Sports Card Investor, and they said, hey, could you help amplify this news? We made a mistake. Can you put this news out on your own news channels so collectors know that we made a mistake and that we're committed to making it right? What has Panini done on the Prism Autos? They haven't contacted us. Not only have they not contacted us, they put no statement out on social media as of at least the filming of this video. They have no statement on their blog. There's no statement on their website. I checked all of it today just to see, have they put anything out anywhere, even acknowledging that this has happened in any type of public format? The answer is no. That drives me up a freaking wall.
And they might not.
It drives me up a freaking wall. It is insanity. And I hate it for collectors. I hate it for collectors that we have a serious problem here with one of the premier hobby releases of the year, and the manufacturer is not acknowledging it publicly. Acknowledge it. say what happened, apologize, make it right, have some method. Topps is doing it, Panini is not, and I find that to be loathsome.
Yeah.
They need to address the issue. If they address the issue, everything will be okay. There's also another interesting wrinkle in all of this. I don't know if this is the case, but I know now Fanatics owns a printing facility that a lot of Panini's products are printed through. Maybe this was actually Fanatics' screw up. But if that's the case, I don't know if that's the case or not. If that was the case, why wouldn't Panini say that? Why wouldn't Panini say anything? Yeah. Even if they don't want to say that, say anything about what happened here. Topps is showing how PR should be run. Panini is pretending this never existed. Anyway, all right, Teapot.
That little Stephen A. devil on my shoulder has hopped over squarely. Is hanging out with you today. I like it. I feel
Yes, sir. Now you're talking, Geoff. Now you're getting on board. Now you're starting to understand. Now you're starting to see the frustrations of the old heads. It is an absolute injustice what is going on. And can I tell you, I know you gave credit to Topps, but Topps has only been doing that, giving us a glimpse or explaining to us what's going on. They've only been doing that in the last year, maybe in the last 12 to 15 months. But prior to that, they were also known for sticking their head in the sand when there was problems and going la, 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 see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. And now you're starting to see again what the old heads get so infuriated about. And it's frustrating. It when you see the same reoccurring issues time and time again, it does get frustrating. I totally can get with Geoff on this. Panini, you have got to get it together. You owe the hobby transparency. It is the era of social media. You need to get ahead of these problems and not just stay silent. The silence is what's killing your brand. And Topps, you're not going to wiggle off this hook either. I don't know what's going on with your QA department, but the recent debacle with the recall on 2024 Topps with the first card designator, you're lucky that this news dropped with SGC, or the spotlight would be on you this week. But you too, what in the world is going on over there where we keep having miscue after miscue after miscue? It is a sign to me of bad leadership. We need to call some people in the office. We need to investigate what the issue is. We need to start reprimanding some folks. We need to start getting in some people's faces and saying, hey, get your head out of your rear end and let's get to work and let's get things right. That's what needs to happen. Then we need to get that reprimand and place it inside their file. That way, if this continues and this continues to be a reoccurring problem, you know who the bad actors are and you can get rid of the bad actors. In my industry, there is zero tolerance for this kind of nonsense. Zero. We're dealing with freight trains. We're dealing with millions upon millions of dollars of product. We're dealing with equipment and trains that can kill people and destroy neighborhoods. And there is a high level of QA. There has to be. And if this would be, you're not going to have these constant miscues in my industry. And matter of fact, and probably a lot of people's jobs, where these types of miscues are non-negotiable. They cannot happen. They cannot keep happening. And if there needs to be something done quickly. So I can get behind Geoff Wilson on this one. And I can come alongside him in the frustration that what is happening with Panini, it is an injustice. It's not right. And listen, man, I know everybody has their own opinion of Geoff Wilson and Cards HQ and sports card investors and market movers and all these things. Listen, I can respect the hustle. In my opinion, Geoff Wilson is paying his dues. In my opinion, he's learning. He's learning the hard way, but he is learning. And I said it about a year or so ago, and I was blasted out in the comments sections. But at the end of the day, Geoff Wilson is going to be one of the leading voices in this industry. And I know some of you that's going to trigger the dislike button, I'm sure. But it's okay. I'm not here for likes. I'm here for speaking my mind and speaking my piece. And I just believe that Geoff Wilson is earning my respect because he's getting it. He's starting to see, and he is probably the middleman now between the hobby and the industry. It used to be Beckett Publications, but I think now in the ultra modern day today, I believe that the middleman is going to be Geoff Wilson between the collectors and the industry. And so it's one of them things where him letting loose on this rant, I think, is a good thing. And I hope that the industry is listening. But there has to be, this all falls on the shoulders of leadership. And I don't know if they have non-hobby people up there, then you need to get some hobby folks in there. Okay. We have to get the right people in place because this is a leadership issue. Everything rises and falls upon the shoulders of leadership. And when we keep having miscue after miscue, I can see one, hey man, we all mess up. We all fall a little short. We all screw up on occasion. But when it's release after release after release, we're having to do recalls. We're having to do special little gimmicks because we screwed up. We're having to do all of this PR because of human error. Human error can be managed. And that's what we need to do. Manage. I will challenge Geoff Wilson in this one area. And I say this because I know he has an ancillary channel with his son. His son is very young, very good looking young man. His young man's very passionate for the hobby. You can just see it. And he is becoming, developing his voice within the hobby as well through his channel. But here's the thing, because Geoff Wilson seems to advocate big time for kids. And that's respectable, man. That's what I'm talking about. And I believe I don't see anybody else doing it the way he's doing it. Maybe Ryan Card Collector 2 with his trade nights and that. He also seems to really care and curtail around the younger kids. Geoff has done a lot of things as well in his shop, even at the National. He does a lot of things with kids, and kids are a priority to him. And I can see it and I can respect it. But here's what I want to challenge Geoff Wilson on. And it came via a Topps Series 1 box that I opened up recently. And I noticed something that I was going to talk about. Actually, Dan the Card Man talked about it here in the last couple of days, and I was going to talk on it, but he just beat me to the punch. But I'm going to do a different little twist on what Dan the Man was talking about. But it's about this element of children and gambling. And Dan the Man's video, I'll leave a link to it down at the bottom below, but Dan's video, he was concerned because he has young kids, and during Topps Rip Night, they were doing this QR code for a free spot in a break. And Dan's concern, and an overwhelming concern in the comments section, was that why are we getting kids this young involved in breaks? That this can give off a vibe of gambling and perhaps placing kids on the wrong track for their collecting future. And I can kind of see that, because I know when I came back to the hobby in 2014, the first thing I did was I got involved with breaks. And I spent probably the first 12 to 15 months heavily involved in breaks. And I spent a ton of money that I unfortunately don't have much to show for. And I can tell you that there were times where my heart would race, where the excitement would kick in, my adrenaline would get going, because there was, I didn't think of it that way, but there was this element of like gambling. There was this excitement generated, and it was that excitement that happens with gambling. And is that what we want for our children? And so we got to be very, very mindful of that, especially fanatics. I'm talking to you. You own a gambling thing. This is all part of your business strategy, but I'm going to caution you when it comes to getting kids into breaks and introducing them into perhaps what can lead to a future gambling problem. I do want to show you folks this card that I pulled from my box of Top Series 1. I pulled this card from the box, and it's a home run challenge. And I want to read you the back of the card here. I'm going to show you this card here. Hold on one second. Yes, I want to show you this card here because this is the back of that card, okay? Now I want you to listen to the verbiage here. It's not what's said, but how it's said. Listen to this. Register and choose the game date you think this player will hit a home run. If he does, you win a parallel card. Feeling brave? Go all or nothing and double down to predict if the ball will travel more than 425 feet for a special parallel card. Listen to this sentence again. Feeling brave? Go all or nothing and double down to predict if the ball will travel more than 425 feet for a very special parallel card. Guys, the verbiage in the back of that card resonates with that of gambling. And this is the product that we curtail for children. This is the product that is the featured product in Topps Rip Night. Is this the message that we want to portray? Is this the verbiage that we want to teach our children when it comes to sports cards? All my kids are grown and gone. But in the long term, seeing things through a 30,000 foot lens, I'm not saying it is a thing. I'm saying that it is a concern. So I hope the powers that be can take all these things under consideration. I agree that, this is concerning. I believe that Geoff Wilson is saying the right things. He's learning some valuable lessons that I noticed, just wanted to share with you folks. And I don't know, what do you think? What do you think about the whole gambling aspect of sports cards and children? What are we just a little maybe overprotective? I think as dads, we need to be overprotective. I think we need to teach. Well, I also think we need to be mindful that our kids don't fall into something that perhaps can harm them long term. I think we need to supervise what our children are getting into. And so this type of thing, if I'm a parent, if I have kids and I see this kind of language and I see them trying to get them into this breaking thing, I'm concerned. I'm going to be like, hey, time out here. Okay. So that's going to be all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I want you to remember, my friends, not all rookie cards are created equal. Until next time, buenos nachos, muchachos.